Thanks for watching County Report this week. I'm Susan Kennedy. The Maryland General Assembly officially began its 90-day session this week with a full plate of issues. Topping this year's agenda will once again be the state's continuing budget problems. Financial issues are a big concern as Maryland faces a deficit of more than $1 billion. There's talk of new taxes and spending reductions to offset that shortfall. County officials are calling 2012 the year of do no harm.
Which means that it would be very difficult for the county to have things happen to it in Annapolis that created additional problems for the county. And when I say things that could happen, things particularly on the operating budget side where we would have additional responsibilities with the costs associated with those responsibilities shifted to the county.
We don't want the state to solve its economic woes by making ours more difficult. So things like teacher pension shifts is something that we're very concerned about, and hearing rumblings that that might be in the works, and we have to deal with that issue in a serious way.
County lawmakers plan on making their presence known in Annapolis this session as issues like the gas tax and reforming maintenance of effort requirements come to the floor.
Well, my hope certainly is that we won't need to ask for a waiver again this year. We, quote, rebased in order to put ourselves on a sustainable path going forward. So if we get a budget that is truly a maintenance of effort budget in accordance with our rebasing, certainly it was my expectation when we did that we would be able to meet that obligation.
Yesterday we had chromium and copper, and it applies basically to those families.
I would say that Montgomery County has tried mightily and is making, it is maxing out its ability to fund its school system, which is incredibly important to the county. It is one of its key economic strengths.
Lawmakers are also prepared for the return of the same-sex marriage legislation that stalled last year after contentious debate. Governor Martin O'Malley is expected to lead the charge for gay marriage in Maryland after staying in the background last year. But when it's all said and done, Wenger says lawmakers are hopeful there will be some funds invested back into the county.
We're really hoping that there will be a very substantial transportation revenue enhancement. And we know that the governor is very likely to what I call upfront some of the capital money that they would spend in the out years in this year and probably next year. So it's like, again, a state stimulus program, and that would create additional investment for capital.
Like a majority of states, Maryland's legislature meets only part-time, so a year's worth of lawmaking will be condensed into 3 months between now and early April. Last fall, our county faced an emergency situation when a suicide bomber took hostages at the Discovery Building in downtown Silver Spring. One Montgomery County police officer has now been recognized by Congress for his reaction to the events of that frightening day. Lorna Virgili was at the ceremony at the Public Safety Training Academy. Lorna?
Susan, on that day, it took teamwork from law enforcement agencies. Now, one police officer distinguished himself and made the operation a success, and that is why he was honored here today. Officer Edward Payton, a 15-year Montgomery County police veteran, was honored with a top award to recognize exceptional acts of bravery while in the line of duty. The Congressional Badge of Bravery on his chest represents how he risked his own life by entering the Discovery Building while the bomber held hostages.
Being able to get inside, get in a position, stop the subject from making further entry into the building, which would have been a lot worse for everybody involved. So being that first inside the building, giving a little peace to the employees of Discovery.
It was the first time in the United States that a suicide bomber had taken hostages. After hours of negotiations, the bomber was subdued, but it was police officers Payton's position inside that fed intel to the team outside.
But that he got so close to what was going on where he was able to give us the description, just looking at this man within the distance where if a bomb had gone off, certainly he could have been hurt or killed. And he's giving us all the intel, what the bomb looks like, what the man looks like, where he is. But Ed also has now in a position where Mr. Lee was not going to be able to get further into the building.
He was off duty when the incident was taking place, but Payne heard the call and headed to the location.
Officer Payton, on behalf of a proud and grateful county of nearly 1 million citizens, I want to extend my appreciation and congratulate you for your outstanding service, because you did not overly debate, you did not overly calculate, but you acted. Thank you.
There were about 1,900 people inside the building that day. Everyone was saved. For County Report this week, Lorna Virgili.
Some parents in Clarksburg say they want the county to pay for a path along 355 so their children can walk safely to school. In Montgomery County, there is no bus transportation for those students who live within 1.5 miles of their school. Students who live in the Clarksburg Town Center and Clarksburg Highlands neighborhoods fall into that category and walk to school along 355. The county is studying the design of a hiker-biker trail along 355 from Brink Road to Stringtown Road, and Councilmember Craig Rice says he thinks a new path would be money well spent.
You know, when we look at trying to make sure that we're putting all the things that are necessary, all the pieces together in the puzzle that makes up Clarksburg, I think this is one of those that definitely goes hand in hand with its overall mission, you know, to become a linked community. And we see that a lot of our hiker and biker trails do exactly that. They link communities together, besides providing safe pathways for people to move around.
This week, County Executive Ike Leggett conducted 2 budget forums for the FY13 operating budget. The forums are an opportunity for residents to address concerns regarding programs or services that might be trimmed due to budget constraints. The executive will present his official operating budget to the County Council on March 15th. It's estimated there will be a departmental cut of 1% across the board in order to bridge a $100 million shortfall.
We have solved in the last 4 years $4.2 billion of projected budgetary gaps. Let me repeat that, $4.2 billion. And it has a tremendous impact on this county's budget, on the services and programs that we've delivered. It meant, for example, that we have not provided cost of living adjustment for our employees for 3 years. It has meant furloughs and layoffs. It has meant hiring freezes. It has meant changes to our insurance programs that we offer for our employees.
County residents are encouraged to participate in these budget forums. The entire proposed operating budget can be found on the county's website, montgomerycountymd.gov. Over the next few months, county officials plan on proposing policy changes geared at improving the county's affordable housing supply. Projections show over the next decade, the number of affordable units that will be needed in Montgomery County will grow as much as 50,000. Councilmember Mark Elridge told us what he thinks the county could do to increase the number of units while saving money at the same time.
I think we've got to figure out some creative and maybe some different ways of cracking this nut. I'm a big proponent of preserving as much of the existable affordable housing as you can, because you can buy units today routinely, particularly in apartment buildings, for far less than you could ever build them. And so to focus on a building strategy rather than acquisition strategy, I think is a very expensive focus. I really would like to see more effort in terms of buying existing buildings and preserving them as affordable.
Still ahead on County Report this week, it's a new year and a new beginning for some Montgomery County public schools. We'll tell you about it and bring you a story about a different kind of school in Rockville that's making a difference in the lives of some of this county's smallest residents.
We can all be energy savers. It's easy. Turn off lights. Use energy-saving light bulbs. And turn off electronics and appliances when not in use. Make a change and we can really fly. Learn more at energy.gov/kids.
Welcome back to County Report this week. Montgomery County Police are looking for a suspect in 2 home invasions, and Officer Janelle Smith from Montgomery County Police is here with the disturbing details of these cases. Officer, tell us what happened here.
That's right, Susan. This week, detectives from the Montgomery County Police Major Crimes Division are investigating these 2 home invasion robberies that occurred on Tuesday and Wednesday. On Tuesday, 4th District officers responded to the 2900 block of McMahon Road in Wheaton for the report of a robbery that had just occurred. Then yesterday, Wednesday, officers from the 2nd District responded to an address in the 9200 block of Barden Road in Bethesda for another report of a home invasion robbery. In both cases, the suspect was armed with a handgun and stole debit cards from the residences. The suspect then later used the cards at various bank ATMs and CVS stores. Based on his usage of these cards, detectives have obtained photos of the suspect and believe it is the same suspect in each incident.
Now, I do understand that there is a vehicle involved in this case as well. Is that correct?
That's correct. In Wednesday's home invasion, the suspect stole the keys to one of the victim vehicles and fled the scene in that vehicle. It is a gray Ford Expedition bearing a Maryland registration. And at this time, detectives are asking that anyone who may know the suspect, have information about these events, or know the location of the vehicle to contact the police department.
Okay, we do have a good picture of this guy, so we hope we catch him fast. Thank you very much, Officer Janelle Smith, Montgomery County Police. The city of Rockville runs a very special preschool program called Montrose Discovery, where students hail from international backgrounds and where teachers provide an opportunity to learn about American traditions. The Rockville 11 team talked to some longtime teachers to learn more about this special program.
Now I know. We have a group from Japan, a group from China, groups from Korea, India, Pakistan. So there's quite a diversified group of children here.
This program especially is extra interesting in that it's multicultural. There's so much going on with each child in terms of learning about a new culture and learning a new language, and just the coming together of various traditions and ideas, and the fact that so many people who visit our country want to enroll their children in an American preschool where they will learn a lot of the traditions of our culture, because many of our themes center around seasons and special times of the year and special holidays that are celebrated in all different cultures. So that just became a mini United Nations in a sense, where we could share different things that we all know, and especially just observing an interest that other people from other countries have in learning about America. We like to say that we focus on each child becoming competent in physical, emotional, social, creative, and cognitive areas. And so we have lots of different projects that address all of those things. And those types of activities encourage a child when they are developing to become ready for kindergarten and for other learning. But emotional development is really important, because this is the first time children are leaving their parents and they're coming together in a group of children where at home they may have been able to have most of the things that they want whenever they want it. When they come into an environment like this, they're leaving their parents and they have to start learning how to get along with other children and to share with other children. So a lot of that's happening, along with different activities that help the child learn how to use their small muscles and to learn how to start recognizing letters and numbers, and just through play and through a creative environment that we set up for the children, we try to have them have the opportunity to do lots of different things where they can enjoy and expand their knowledge and discover. I think the name is very appropriate, because they do discover lots of new ideas that they can explore in this classroom. We have a great program here for people to enjoy, and I think it's a very excellent preschool experience, individualized for each child that comes here.
To learn more about the Montrose Discovery Preschool Program, go online to rockvillemd.gov/recreation/preschool. There you can find rate information and flexible schedules for working parents.
As we continue to ring in the new year, school bells were also ringing at 3 newly modernized MCPS elementary schools. At Garrett Park Elementary, one of those new schools, a ceremonial ribbon cutting was held. Let's take a look.
Welcome to the new school!
On Wednesday, January 4th, nearly 1,300 MCPS students celebrated the new year at their new elementary schools, 3 newly modernized elementary schools, 7 Lux, Cannon Road, and Garrett Park opened their doors to excited students and staff.
1, 2, 3.
At Garrett Park Elementary School, officials and community members held a ribbon-cutting ceremony and gathered to discuss the importance of these new buildings.
It shows the school system's commitment to keep their schools up to date.
The 3 renovations cost $52 million combined and were completed on time and on schedule.
It's just gorgeous. We have Promethean boards, we have new computers, we have new desks, and we have a gym, which really excites all of the kids.
I love this new gym!
Superintendent Joshua Starr acknowledged the extra work that staff and the community accomplished to ensure the successful opening of these 3 schools.
The amount of people that come together to ensure that it opens up smoothly, that boxes get packed up. Everybody participates, and I just want to thank everybody.
Since 1985, MCPS has completed modernization projects at 77 schools, with 17 additional projects scheduled to be completed by 2018. Board of Education Vice President Christopher Barclay commented on the need to provide classroom seats for the school system's ever-growing student enrollment.
Since 2007, we have added over 9,000 students, and we expect to add another 9,000 students by 2017. It's difficult to keep up with the demand for space and seats, which is why we're so grateful for the continued commitment from our county elected officials and our state officials.
We continue to provide the kinds of learning environment that serve our children. And that's our duty and our obligation and our #1 priority, and you have my commitment to it as well.
What I love about my new school is how it's clean, how it's new, and there's lockers outside. Our school has new technology.
My new school is great.
My school is nice and beautiful.
This week, the county executive joined board members and advisory committee members of the Community Foundation for Montgomery County to officially launch the Fund for Montgomery. The Fund for Montgomery allows the county's partners to support a host of community events, including the recent 25th anniversary of the county's Community Service Day, the popular World of Montgomery Festival in downtown Wheaton, and the Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Service. Up next on County Report this week, our partners at Montgomery College bring us a story on a different approach to art. Stay with us.
Today, about 1 in 5 Americans is living with a disability. Over 50 million people, including many of our friends and neighbors, teachers and co-workers, heroes and leaders. 20 years ago, the Americans with Disabilities Act guaranteed every person the right to live, work, and participate fully in the American experience. We've come a long way since then, and we are committed to making even more progress in the years ahead. Visit disability.gov to see how you can help.
Welcome back to County Report this week. Unfortunately, all too often we hear about hate crimes and the damaging effects horrible name-calling can have. Well, Montgomery College art students decided to do something about it through a class project where derogatory words used to describe people are destroyed.
Well, at the moment we're working on a project that grew out of the Smithsonian Fellowship that I'm doing this year. And the whole idea was to integrate the theme of racial identity into the projects. When I think of racial prejudice, I think of it as institutionalized bullying. And there has been so much in the news recently about these young children who have been cyberbullied and are committing suicide because of it. You know, it just wrenches my heart.
Actually, when I was growing up, words never really affected me, but I had a really good friend who was Asian, and like walking through the halls, a group of people, bullies, would always call him gook and stuff like that, and he would always like tell me like he was like really like sad about that word and like really affected him.
The idea of the project was kind of like a self-empowerment thing where we basically take the worst word that's been thrown at us and kind of just, you know, get it out on paper, get it all out on paper, and then to destroy it.
Put up the N-word because I learned about that in 8th grade in civil rights class, and I know how the history behind it, and I feel that word is by far the strongest of disrespectful words.
They're going to take a copy of their word, unless they want to destroy their own word, they can do that too. But I want them to take a match to it and watch it burn and then put it into the little fire pit that I'm going to have there.
It's never a good thing to put other people down, and seeing that their reactions to those words, it's hurtful to watch, and people don't realize how much they hurt other people by the things that they say.
You know, you are always reminded of those bad things that happen, like those bad words, they do stick with you. I mean, you will remember every time something like that has happened to you.
Just a little word can harm someone a lot. So just to like choose my words carefully when I'm talking to somebody, because you know, even if I didn't mean it seriously or as a joke, it can still hurt that person a lot.
The people of African nations make up a large percentage of Montgomery County residents, and Nigerians are an active community in every Montgomery County neighborhood. As local fuel prices are expected to reach $4 a gallon by this summer, our Nigerian neighbors have seen the price of gas double at home. This cost increase has resulted in uprisings, strikes, and deaths in this oil-exporting nation. The Nigerian people have now launched Occupy Nigeria, which is active in Nigeria and in Montgomery County. Obi Wobe tells us more.
In a diverse community such as Montgomery County, Nigerians make up 5.7% of the growing African immigrant population. And today, Nigerians in the Washington, D.C. area in front of the World Bank protesting the government's decision to remove fuel subsidy despite the people's opposition.
I'm out here today to support a cause for my family, my friends, everyone back home. I feel right now what's going on with Nigeria. People are dying. We have so many crises outside of the fuel issue.
The sudden end of the fuel subsidy program in Nigeria means an increase in other daily necessities from food to transportation.
The World Bank and the International Monetary Fund were very instrumental in convincing our governments to make an already poor country even poorer by hiking the gas prices up double overnight.
Nigeria produces more than 2.5 million barrels of oil a day and remains the top crude supplier to the U.S. The Nigerian government says the removal of the fuel subsidy will save the country $8 billion a year, and the proceeds will be used for infrastructure development.
Our government for the past 20 years has, misused the funds, stolen money, instead of rebuilding our refineries.
The average Nigerian lives off of $2 a day. And if gas prices jump from 45 to 95 cents and at 125 at the black market all overnight, the people are bound to retaliate.
So yes, it affects me. I send money home, once in a while. So I aid the economy of Nigeria as well.
Nigerians protesting in front of the World Bank today said the fuel subsidy removal is a catalyst to speak up against everything wrong in Nigeria, from lack of good government to lack of electricity. But the Nigerian government says, give us time, let us make things right. For Counter Report this week, this is Obi Wobe.
Still to come, climb aboard as we take you on a tour of the National Capitol Trolley Museum. And Kathy Stanhope will be here with a furry friend looking for a new home. We'll be right back.
There's still time to register for Montgomery College's spring semester to make sure you get your first choice of classes. Choose courses for more than 130 majors and programs offered at our campus locations and online. Register today online or at any of our 3 campuses. All new MC students should definitely register for one of the new student orientation sessions scheduled on all 3 campuses. Designed to help your transition to college, they include workshops, activities, and opportunities to help you connect to the MC community. And don't miss the Wizards and MC Rockville men's and women's basketball triple header January 14th at the Verizon Center. The MC teams will take on PG Community College, and then the Wizards battle the 76ers. Special ticket prices available to catch all 3 games. For more information about the endless possibilities at your community college, visit our website.
Welcome back to County Report. In our Pet of the Week segment this week, Kathy Stanhope has a dog named Peyton who might just be the perfect companion for you.
Hi, this is Kathy Stanhope with your Pet of the Week at the Montgomery County Humane Society, and I am here with Peyton. She is a friendly, always happy dog. She's a Pit Bull Labrador Retriever mix, and she was found as a stray in West Virginia, and somehow she found her way here, and she is looking for a home. She's just, as I said, about 9 months old, and she likes everybody. She's very, very friendly. She's affectionate. She's never depressed. She's a really happy girl. She likes other dogs. She likes cats, and everybody is her best friend. She's a nice, strong girl. She's a very pretty girl. She walks well on a leash. You really want to come down to the Montgomery County Humane Society and meet Peyton. She definitely wants to go home with you. Give us a call at 240-773-5967 or visit us on the web at mchumane.org.
The National Capital Trolley Museum is headquartered right here in Montgomery County. The museum preserves and interprets the history of Washington's electric street railways. There are weekly tours at the museum, and our Mike Springer took part in one, and he takes us on a ride.
So this is our new barn. I'm Eric Ledbetter, Director of Marketing at the National Capital Trolley Museum. We're the Washington area's streetcar and transportation museum. When you come to see us, you can see our historic collection of over 20 streetcars from all over the world. You can take a ride on a real streetcar on our 1-mile demonstration railway, and you can see all the exhibits in our brand new visitor center.
How does the trolley work?
Well, it runs on electricity. If you look up here, there's a copper wire that runs over the center of the track. That is charged with 600 volts of direct current electricity. The electricity flows down into the car and through insulated wires, and it comes down to the wheels over here. The electricity turns the motor, and then the current, without any voltage left on it, goes down into the rails and back, and that completes the circuit. Streetcars ran in Washington for about 100 years, from the Civil War through the Kennedy administration in 1962. After the last streetcar ran in D.C. in 1962, there were a group of people who didn't want the memory of riding the cars to die. They came together to form our museum. We moved to this park in 1967, and our volunteers began building our first railway, which was all built by hand. The rails actually came from the old St. Elizabeth's Hospital, which used to have a railroad spur. We bought the rail and brought it here and spiked it down ourselves. There's something magical about any kind of train. The way it moves, the sound it makes as it goes over the rails. Something just consoling about it. And trolleys in particular are fun because they're so open to the community around them. With the windows open, you can see people, you can wave to them. It's quiet as it moves through the street, so it's not scaring or frightening people, making any kind of roaring noise. It's a very friendly technology. We get a lot of families with kids looking for a good day's outing, but we also get adult streetcar enthusiasts.
There's some nostalgia to it. With all us old guys, that's what it is. With somebody coming up, they have no knowledge of this, so you have to teach them about it, I think.
Well, that does it for this edition of County Report This Week. We leave you with a list of the dates of those upcoming budget forums being held all around the county. The county executive will be at these forums to answer your questions about upcoming budget issues. I'm Susan Kennedy. Thanks for watching.